What if the quietest choices you make today could become your greatest superpowers tomorrow? After 55, life isn't about slowing down. It's about sharpening the lens through which you see the world. Let's talk about the art of holding back to move forward. We've all felt it, the urge to share, explain, or justify. But what if some truths are like heirlooms? Too precious to display, too powerful to expose. Age gifts us clarity. Not everything deserves an audience. Today, we're unpacking 9 guarded truths that can shield your peace, amplify your confidence, and let you navigate life's second act with grace. These aren't rules, they're revelations. Your bank balance isn't a badge, it's a blueprint. Share numbers, and suddenly everyone's an architect. Guarding this keeps decisions yours, not theirs. Diagnoses aren't headlines. Every "how are you" doesn't need a dossier. Silence here isn't shame, it's sanity preserved. That feud, that scandal, that unspoken truth? Some roots dig deep. Water them with discretion, not gossip, and watch family trees grow stronger. Past stumbles taught us to walk. Displaying those scars? That's optional. Let wisdom speak louder than wounds. When help comes with no fanfare, its impact echoes longest. Anonymous kindness? That's legacy building. Faith shifts like tides. Not every doubter needs your map. Not every believer needs your doubts. Sacred journeys thrive in privacy. Dreams under construction crumble under scrutiny. Keep tomorrow's plans veiled. Mystery fuels momentum. Achievements aren't trophies to dust off daily. Let others discover your brilliance organically. It hits harder. Your morning routine or evening ritual. They're sacred scripts. Overshare, and suddenly everyone's a critic. Protect what keeps you grounded. Privacy is the soil where dignity grows. Expose every seed to the sun, and nothing takes root. Tend your garden in stillness. Harvest strength on your terms. This isn't about hiding. It's about hoarding your light so fiercely that when you choose to shine, it blinds doubters and ignites believers. If this sparks a yes in your chest, you're our people. Smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment below if tip number 7 made you nod. Your stories inspire our next chapters. Here's the secret they won't tell you. The less the world knows, the more it wonders. Let mystery be your crown. Wear it well. As we step into life's later chapters, those rich, autumnal years beyond 55, a subtle shift unfolds. Wisdom no longer shouts. It whispers. It thrives in quiet corners, in the spaces between words, in knowing what to hold close and what to let breathe. Have you ever wondered what deserves to stay unspoken as the decades deepen? What truths, stories, or vulnerabilities are better shielded, not out of secrecy, but out of reverence for grace? Today, we're sharing a tale and a timeless lesson about the quiet power of privacy. It's a story that begins in a village nestled between rolling hills, where sunlight filters through ancient oaks and cobblestone paths glisten after summer rains. Here, an elder resides. His face, etched with lines like a well-loved book, tells of storms weathered and joys savored. He moves slowly, deliberately, each gesture a silent hymn to patience. The villagers don't just respect him, they lean into his presence, as if the air around him hums with unspoken truths. One restless afternoon, a young man, boots dusty, brow furrowed, approaches. His words tumble out. "How have you earned such peace? Such respect?" The elder smiles, eyes crinkling like parchment. Without a word, he leads the youth to a gnarled tree, its branches a cathedral of leaves. They sit. A breeze stirs the air, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant lavender. "Not all seeds need sunlight," he begins, voice like gravel softened by time. "Some roots grow deepest in the dark." His calloused hand rests on the tree's trunk. "See these grooves? They're not flaws. They're stories it chose to keep. And there, in that shaded silence, lies the lesson. What we protect shapes our dignity. Our missteps? They don't need an audience. Our children's choices? Not ours to dissect. Financial whispers, family tensions, unhealed wounds. Some things, when cradled in quiet, become sacred. A weathered journal closed gently. A family photo tucked into a drawer. Hands clasped, not in secrecy, but in quiet resolve. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through 9 pillars of privacy that nurture wisdom's garden. Because here's the secret. Serenity isn't about having all the answers. It's about cherishing the mysteries, the ones we release, and the ones we hold dear. The camera pans up to the tree's canopy, sunlight dappling through leaves as the elder's voice lingers. When we guard our depths, we don't shrink. We become oceans. 9 truths to carry quietly. Join us. We've all stood at that crossroads, the urge to spill every thought, every secret, every triumph, convinced that raw transparency will bind us to others. But what if the very act of sharing too much chips away at the quiet strength we carry inside? Let's walk through a story passed down by a sage, a tale etched with the kind of clarity that only time and reflection can bring. Imagine a sun-dappled clearing where an ancient tree stretches its gnarled branches toward the sky. Beneath it sits a young man, restless and eager, beside an elder whose eyes hold the quiet intensity of weathered stone. The elder's voice, feather-soft yet resonant, begins to unravel a truth forged over decades. When I was your age, he says, I believed my heart's every beat deserved an audience. I mistook noise for connection, volume for truth. I poured out my joys, my fears, even secrets that weren't mine to share, all to feel seen, to stitch myself into the world's tapestry. The young man leans closer, the weight of the elder's paws hanging in the air. But years taught me a harsher truth. Not every ear is a sanctuary. Some listeners collect stories like stones, to weigh you down, to skip across the surface of your life without ever diving into its depths. The more I spoke, the more I fractured my own peace. Moments that once shimmered with meaning grew dull in the open air. Secrets I'd sworn to guard lost their sacredness, traded cheaply for fleeting nods of understanding. A breeze stirs the leaves above them, as if the tree itself agrees. Discretion, the elder continues, is not a cage. It's a choice, to shelter the embers of your spirit from winds that would snuff them out. Not out of fear, but reverence. What we protect in silence grows roots. What we shout too often becomes an echo, hollowed of its truth. The young man frowns, torn between curiosity and doubt. But how do we know what to keep close? How do we decide what's worth shielding? The elder's smile deepens, creasing his face like a map of hard-won wisdom. Ah, that is the dance. Time teaches you to distinguish between the hunger for validation and the grace of integrity. Some truths are lanterns, meant to light the way for others. Others are seeds, buried deep to nourish your soul's soil. Share the lanterns. Guard the seeds. He gestures to the forest around them. Listen. The oldest trees don't scream their strength. They stand. They endure. Their rings hold stories of storms survived, sunlight absorbed, roots deepened in silence. Your most sacred truths are like those rings. Let them be felt, not explained. The young man's gaze drops to his hands, calloused and uncertain. And what if we share too much too soon? The elder's voice gentles. Then you rebuild. You learn. Silence isn't a wall, it's a bridge back to yourself. Every time you choose stillness over clamor, you reclaim a fragment of your peace. You begin to hear the whispers you once drowned out, the hum of your intuition, the rhythm of your purpose. For a long moment, the only sound is the rustle of leaves and the distant cry of a hawk circling overhead. The world will always clamor for your story, the elder murmurs. But not every chapter is theirs to read. Some are written in ink only your heart can decipher. Share your light, but never your fire. A flame loses none of its heat by refusing to feed every passing breeze. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in bruised purples and golds, the young man feels a shift, a loosening of the knot he's carried in his chest. The elder rises, placing a weathered hand on his shoulder. Walk softly, but carry your truth like a compass. What you protect in silence will one day speak louder than any word. The young man felt something shift deep within him, a quiet awakening. It wasn't just about secrecy or holding back. It was about crafting something unshakable, a fortress within himself. A space untouched by the noise of others' opinions or the weight of their judgments. He paused, his voice soft, almost a whisper to himself. So, what I choose not to share can actually become my strength. The old man gave a knowing nod as he rose, signaling the end of their conversation. His words carried the weight of decades lived and lessons learned. Exactly. When you reach my age, you'll see it even more clearly. Over time, you'll realize that by keeping certain parts of your life private, you're protecting something sacred. Something that remains entirely yours, an unbreakable core. That's where true strength lies. Now that we've taken in this profound wisdom, let's pause and reflect. Are there aspects of your life you've been sharing too freely? Moments, thoughts, or dreams that might be better guarded? Are there pieces of yourself you've handed over that could have been kept close, nurturing your inner resilience? Now, we're diving into 9 things you might want to consider keeping private, especially if you're between 55 and 75. These aren't just random suggestions, they're small but powerful keys to living a calmer, more dignified life. Each one is a step toward preserving your peace and strengthening that inner fortress we all need. If this message strikes a chord with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your perspective. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights on living with grace, strength, and unshakable inner peace. Let's build those fortresses together. Number 1. Money. Let's talk about money, something we all think about, but rarely discuss openly. Here's a personal tip we've learned over time. Your financial life is one area that deserves a little mystery. Sharing too much about your money? That's a hard no. Why? Because financial stability, especially as we grow older, isn't just about numbers in a bank account. It's about peace of mind. And that peace, it's fragile. When we let others in on the specifics, how much we earn, what we've saved, or what we own, we're not just sharing information. We're opening ourselves up to expectations, assumptions, and sometimes even exploitation. It's not that people are inherently bad, but money has a way of shifting perspectives. Friends, family, even people we barely know might start seeing us differently. Suddenly, we're not just a person. We're a resource, a potential solution to someone else's problem. And here's the thing. This shift in how others see us isn't always intentional. It's human nature. When wealth enters the conversation, people's minds start wandering. They might think of what they could do with that money, or why they don't have as much, or how you could help them. Even if they don't mean to, their perception of you changes. And that can lead to awkwardness, judgment, or even resentment. This is where ancient wisdom comes in handy. The Stoics, like Seneca, had it right. Wealth isn't a measure of your worth. It's just a tool. What matters isn't what you have, but how you use it. By keeping your financial life private, you're not hiding anything. You're protecting yourself. You're freeing yourself from the weight of other people's expectations. You're giving yourself the space to live life on your own terms, without worrying about how others might interpret your choices. Think of financial privacy as a form of self-care. It's not about secrecy, it's about preserving your peace. When we keep our money matters to ourselves, we avoid misunderstandings, unnecessary judgments, and the stress that comes with them. It's a small but powerful way to maintain control over your life and your relationships. So let's keep the numbers to ourselves, because some things are better left unsaid. Number 2, family secrets, a silent bond of love and respect. Every family is a living tapestry, rich with vibrant threads of joy, laughter, and cherished memories. But woven into that fabric are also delicate, private threads, stories, moments, and experiences that are best kept within the family circle. These aren't just secrets. They're the unspoken agreements that hold us together, the quiet understanding that some things are meant to stay close to the heart. We all know families aren't perfect. They're filled with misunderstandings, conflicts, and even mistakes from the past. But not every story needs to be told. Not every memory needs to be shared. Why? Because some things, when brought into the light, can unintentionally reopen old wounds or create new ones. A casual comment about a family dispute or a past incident might seem harmless, but it can ripple out in ways we never anticipated, causing tension, embarrassment, or even hurt for those we care about most. This is where wisdom comes in. The Stoics believed in mastering our impulses and emotions, and that includes the words we choose to speak or not to speak. Silence, especially when it comes to family matters, isn't about hiding the truth. It's about protecting it. It's about honoring the dignity of those we love and preserving the harmony that binds us together. When we choose to keep family secrets private, we're not being dishonest, we're being thoughtful. We're showing respect, not just for others, but for ourselves. Think of it this way. Silence can be one of the most powerful acts of love. It's a way of saying, this matters too much to risk causing harm. It's a commitment to safeguarding the trust and unity that make families so special. By holding these stories close, we allow our bonds to grow stronger, free from the weight of unnecessary exposure or judgment. The next time you're tempted to share a family story, pause. Ask yourself, will this bring value, or could it bring pain? Sometimes, the most profound way to show love is to simply hold space for what's sacred. After all, family isn't just about the stories we tell, it's about the ones we protect together. Number 3. Age. Time moves forward and the years keep passing, but how often we talk about age can shape the way others see us, sometimes in ways we don't expect. When we mention our age too frequently, we may unknowingly invite assumptions about what we can or can't do. People might start treating us differently, perhaps with more caution, as if we're suddenly less capable or need more help. While their intentions may be kind, these assumptions can have a subtle yet powerful effect on how we're perceived. The more this happens, the more likely we are to internalize those thoughts and, over time, start limiting ourselves based on those expectations. The true danger in discussing age too much isn't just in how others treat us. It's in how we begin to view ourselves. Age can quietly build walls around our potential, shaping our mindset in a way that holds us back. But here's the thing, age is simply a number. It doesn't define who we are, the richness of our experiences, or the vibrancy we bring to the present moment. What matters most is how we approach life every day. It's about staying curious, being open to new experiences, and living with purpose. Wisdom, resilience, and joy, these qualities don't come with a specific age. They're not limited by time. So, instead of letting age set boundaries, let's focus on what we can do, how we engage with the world, and let our actions show what we're truly capable of. Number 4, health. As we age, health naturally becomes a more prominent concern. Doctor's appointments, managing medications, and maintaining wellness routines are all part of the landscape. It's understandable that we might want to share these experiences with others, whether to connect, seek support, or simply express how we're feeling. However, when it comes to discussing our health, it's important to approach it with a sense of discretion. While talking about a health challenge can be therapeutic, it can also influence how others view us. The more we talk about our health, the more others might start to see us through the lens of vulnerability or fragility, even if we don't feel that way. It's easy for people to start perceiving us in a way that doesn't align with how we see ourselves. What may feel like a simple conversation or a moment of relief can unintentionally shift how others view our strength, capabilities, and even our potential. Another thing to consider is the flood of unsolicited advice that often follows. Once we open up about a health issue, it's common to be met with an overwhelming amount of suggestions, solutions, and well-meaning opinions. While these might come from a place of care, they can quickly turn into a source of stress. Instead of feeling supported, we might start feeling pressured to consider everyone's advice, which can make navigating our health even more complicated. This is why maintaining privacy around health matters. It's not just about keeping things to ourselves for the sake of privacy. It's about retaining control over our own well-being. When we limit discussions about health, we give ourselves the space to make decisions that feel right for us, without being influenced by others' opinions or interpretations. We hold the power to choose how we want to manage our health, when to seek help, and how to care for ourselves all on our own terms. Health is incredibly personal. No one else knows exactly what it's like to walk in our shoes or navigate our unique challenges. By keeping health matters private, we protect our sense of autonomy and preserve our mental space. It allows us to approach our well-being with calm and confidence, free from the noise of outside pressures. Sharing our health experiences can be valuable, but it's equally important to recognize when privacy serves us better, allowing us to focus on what matters most: our own care, our own pace, and our own journey. Number 5, personal beliefs. Let's dive into one of the most intimate parts of who we are: our personal beliefs. These are the values, ideas, and principles that have been formed by our unique experiences, struggles, and lessons learned over time. They shape how we see the world, how we make decisions, and how we navigate our lives. Our beliefs are the foundation that gives meaning and depth to our existence. However, sharing them too frequently or insisting that others adopt them can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, tension, or even conflict. When we speak too openly about what we believe, whether it's our faith, philosophy, or worldview, we can unintentionally build barriers instead of bridges. The truth is, not everyone shares the same perspective, and that's part of the beauty of life. The diversity of beliefs that exist in the world is what makes us unique, and embracing this diversity is essential to creating meaningful connections. Sometimes, the most respectful thing we can do is simply embrace our beliefs without the need to always voice them. In doing so, we not only show respect for ourselves but also for others and their views. The challenge comes when we feel the need to make others understand, accept, or adopt our beliefs. In these moments, we risk losing our inner peace. Attempts to explain ourselves or justify our perspective can lead to misunderstandings, confusion, or even dismissal of our beliefs. What started as a desire to connect can turn into frustration. As we age and grow wiser, we begin to understand the value of internal harmony, and part of that comes from realizing we don't need to state everything we think or believe to feel at peace. Holding our beliefs close doesn't mean hiding them or denying who we are. Rather, it means recognizing that our beliefs are meaningful because they are ours. They don't require external validation to hold value. The strength of our beliefs lies in their personal significance, in how they've been shaped by our individual journeys. They are a precious part of who we are, and their value is rooted in the deep personal experiences that formed them. By keeping our beliefs private, we are not minimizing their importance. We are simply choosing not to seek validation from others. The true power of our beliefs comes from knowing they are ours to shape, cherish, and evolve. The beauty of life lies in diversity, and by respecting both our own convictions and those of others, we create space for true connection without the need to force our beliefs on anyone else. Embrace what you believe, carry it with pride, but know that you don't always need to share it for it to be meaningful. Sometimes, the greatest form of respect we can show is to let our beliefs speak for themselves. Number 6. Charitable donations. We all know that helping others is one of the most meaningful and fulfilling actions we can take in life. Whether it's through donating money, time, or effort, giving without expecting anything in return brings a sense of joy and purpose. The act of generosity can touch lives and leave an impact far beyond what we may ever realize. But here's a crucial question. Does everyone need to know what you're doing? You've probably met individuals who constantly share the details of their charitable actions, almost as if they want to make sure the world recognizes their generosity. While their intentions may be good, it's important to ask ourselves, what is the true purpose of charity? Is it about helping others, or is it about gaining acknowledgement? The challenge lies in giving without seeking recognition, in maintaining the purity of your intentions by not turning charity into a spectacle. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, made a profound point about this very topic. The most genuine form of helping others is doing so without seeking glory. For the Stoics, virtue was valuable in and of itself, not because it earned praise or rewards. The act of giving, done in silence and without expectation of recognition, is considered the highest form of generosity. This is because the true benefit of charity lies in the impact it has on the person receiving help, not on the ego of the person giving. Now, take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you helped someone without telling anyone about it? Without posting it on social media or sharing the story with your friends? That kind of quiet, selfless action is the one that leaves the most profound impact, not just on the person you helped, but on your own heart. There's something uniquely powerful in giving without needing anyone else to see it. It's in those moments of silent generosity that the true spirit of charity shines through. At the end of the day, charity isn't about the amount of money you donate or the number of people you help. It's about how you give, with humility, kindness, and without the expectation of recognition. The true measure of generosity isn't in how others perceive you, but in the lives you touch and the difference you make in the world. Quietly, without fanfare, and with the sincere intention of doing good. When you give with humility, you realize that the greatest impact isn't in what others see, but in what is achieved in silence. This is the kind of giving that changes lives, not just the lives of others, but your own as well. Number 7. Insults. Letting go of old grudges is one of the most freeing steps you can take toward peace. Over the years, we all tend to carry around a heavy load, past insults, old arguments, and bitter words. These things weigh us down, often without us even realizing it. Picture it like carrying a sack full of stones. Each stone represents a hurtful comment, a painful memory, or a grudge you're still holding on to. And with each step you take, that sack gets heavier, slowing you down and making it harder to move forward with ease. What's even more striking is that many of these wounds come from people who aren't even in our lives anymore. So why should we allow their words, their actions, to still take up space in our present? The truth is, while you may still be holding on to these memories, the person who caused the hurt probably doesn't even remember the incident. They've moved on, but you're still carrying the weight. By constantly revisiting those past hurts, you keep them alive, letting them impact your life long after they should have faded into the background. The Stoics have a simple but powerful piece of wisdom. Let go of what you can't control. And the past is one thing you absolutely cannot control. What happened, happened. What was said, was said. We can't change any of it. True strength, then, lies in freeing yourself from those invisible chains that continue to bind you. When you release those grudges, you give yourself permission to move forward without the burden of resentment, bitterness, or anger. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean that what was done to you wasn't wrong or painful. It just means you're choosing to no longer let that past pain dictate your present. It's a decision to stop letting old hurts define who you are today. It takes courage and a deep sense of self-respect to do this. When you choose to release those grudges, you're taking back control over your heart and your mind. You're saying, I'm not going to let this define me any longer. And in that release, there's freedom. You begin to make room for joy, clarity, and lightness to enter your life. You free yourself from the weight of things that no longer serve you, and suddenly, you can move forward with a sense of peace and ease. So, ask yourself, what are you still carrying that's holding you back? Let it go. You deserve to walk forward without that weight, and you'll be amazed at how much lighter your life feels when you finally let go of old grudges. Number 8, honor and reputation. As we get older, we start to see things a little differently. The desire for recognition and respect shifts from wanting public praise to wanting private dignity. Honor and reputation matter, of course, but there's a difference between protecting your good name and constantly seeking validation from others. When we hit a certain point in life, we realize we don't need to remind people of our accomplishments to feel like our lives have meaning. There's something powerful about just knowing deep down that the way we live our lives already speaks volumes about who we are. True greatness comes from humility, not from needing others to applaud you. It's easy to feel the urge to share our achievements, right? We all want people to know we're doing well, or that we've overcome a challenge. But when that feeling hits, it's worth asking yourself, do I really need to say this? A life of dignity doesn't need to be constantly backed up by external validation. The Stoics had it right. They believed honor comes from living well, not from talking about how well you're doing. The truth is, your actions, your small victories, your quiet resilience, they're already visible to the people who matter. You don't have to shout about your worth because the people who truly know you already see it. In a world where it seems like everyone is constantly showcasing their success, there's something really freeing about just living your life authentically. You don't have to prove your value to anyone. You simply live your truth, and that speaks for itself. When we're younger, it's tempting to measure our worth by how much recognition we can get. But as we get older, we start to realize that the quiet, consistent way we live our lives is what really matters. It's not about boasting. It's about letting the quality of your life, your character, and your actions reflect who you are. That's the kind of honor that sticks with you because it's based on your integrity, not on external applause. So take a step back and think, you don't need to constantly be talking about your successes. The right people see who you are. Your actions, the way you treat others, the resilience you show, it all speaks for itself. You don't need to sell it to anyone. That's the kind of peace that comes when you stop seeking validation. When you live with honor, you're not trying to impress anyone. You're just being the best version of yourself. And that's all the recognition you need. Number 9, sexuality. Your sexuality and intimate life are yours and yours alone. If you're in a relationship, it's something shared between you and your partner, but still, it remains a private realm. As we grow older, society has a tendency to try to box things in, telling us what's acceptable or normal. It can sometimes even downplay the significance of intimacy as we age, as if it somehow fades or loses its meaning over time. But here's the thing. Intimacy, whether we're 20 or 80, can remain just as rich, vibrant, and meaningful as ever if we choose to embrace it. What you choose to do with this part of your life, whether you keep it active or decide to step back, is entirely up to you. It's a personal decision that doesn't need anyone else's approval or understanding. Society might try to make us feel like intimacy in older adulthood is odd or inappropriate, but that's simply not the case. Intimacy at any age is a celebration of connection, affection, and the beauty of shared moments. It doesn't need to be justified or explained, and it certainly shouldn't be subject to anyone's opinion. In fact, the power of embracing this part of yourself with confidence and self-respect is that you get to live on your own terms. Intimacy is a personal, private part of your life that belongs to you and is sacred. It's yours to cherish without the weight of the world's gaze or judgment. As you grow older, living authentically means honoring your choices in every aspect of your life, including your desires and the private moments that matter most to you. There's a quiet strength in being able to embrace this side of life and find joy in the privacy of it. The key to sexuality. Sexuality is one of the most private aspects of life. It's a realm where privacy is not just important, it's fundamental. This privacy isn't about shame or hiding something you're uncomfortable with. It's about protecting the dignity and sanctity of your personal space, preserving what is uniquely yours, and keeping it separate from the opinions of the world. Think about it. How often do we really gain anything by sharing the details of our intimate lives with others? In most cases, talking about it opens up doors to unsolicited advice, judgment, or misconceptions from people who have no right to weigh in on something so personal. And let's be honest, when you share something that private, you open yourself up to a world of unwanted interpretations. So ask yourself, what's truly gained by exposing this part of your life? By choosing to keep this part of your life to yourself, you make a powerful statement of self-respect. You preserve your dignity and protect the integrity of your intimate world from outside opinions or unnecessary exposure. This isn't about hiding or being secretive. It's about giving yourself the space to live freely and authentically, without the need for explanation, justification, or exposure to external scrutiny. Sexuality is a deeply personal part of your identity, one that belongs exclusively to you. It's yours to explore, enjoy, and cherish however you see fit. It deserves to be treated with respect and honored for the meaningful part it plays in your life. So embrace this side of you with confidence, understanding that it's yours to define and yours to protect. No one else's business, no one else's judgment. It's your intimate world, and that's exactly how it should be. Privacy and discretion. As we get older, we often find that life becomes a little quieter. And by that, I mean that we start to embrace more moments of restraint and silence. This isn't about withdrawing from life, but rather about making a conscious choice to protect our inner peace, dignity, and sense of self. It's about understanding that living well isn't just about what we do, but also about what we don't do, what we choose not to share, and what we decide to keep to ourselves. As time goes on, we learn that privacy is a powerful act of self-care. It's one of the ways we can age gracefully, with strength and inner peace, without needing constant validation from the outside world. Privacy doesn't mean we're pulling away from others or shutting ourselves off. It means we're learning to pick and choose what we share and when, knowing that sometimes what we keep to ourselves is just as important as what we put out there. This practice of discretion becomes a way of protecting our own sense of autonomy and value. Think about it. You don't need to share everything to have a meaningful life. Sometimes it's the quiet moments, the private choices, and the silent wisdom that give us a true sense of peace and contentment. As we get older, we realize that living authentically isn't about telling the world everything about us. It's about knowing what's worth sharing and what's meant to remain in our own private world. Living with discretion doesn't mean you're hiding anything. It simply means you're making intentional choices about how much of yourself you share and who you share it with. You're deciding to protect the sacred parts of your life, the parts that are deeply personal and don't require approval or acknowledgement from anyone else. And in doing so, you make room for your own growth and peace. When you choose privacy, you're not running away from life. You're actually allowing yourself to live more fully, more authentically. By keeping certain things to yourself, you're protecting your sense of self-worth and your inner strength. And in doing that, you create a balance, one that lets you be open, connected, and present with others, but also allows you to guard those pieces of your life that are only for you. This kind of privacy is a sanctuary. It's a space where your most intimate experiences, your quiet wisdom, and the lessons you've learned over the years remain protected. You're holding on to those treasures that are meaningful only to you, and you're allowing them to grow richer without needing to expose them to the world. Those moments, your private victories, your personal reflections, become deeper and more valuable when they're not constantly shared. They stay with you, building your sense of identity and peace. The beauty of privacy is that it gives you the freedom to be true to yourself, without the pressure of constantly needing to explain or justify your choices. You don't need to seek approval from anyone else to feel validated. Your worth is not determined by how much you share or by how much others know about you. What truly matters is how you live your life and the authenticity you bring to the world. There's real power in choosing to keep certain things private. It's a way of protecting your autonomy, your sense of dignity, and your personal narrative. It's not about building walls or becoming distant. Instead, it's about creating boundaries that allow you to engage with others while keeping the most sacred parts of yourself safe. It's about protecting your peace, your authenticity, and your self-respect. Think about it this way. Your privacy isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a gift to yourself. It's a space where you can reflect, grow, and nourish your sense of self, free from the noise and judgment of the outside world. You don't need to share every little detail of your life to be understood or appreciated. The people who truly care about you will see who you are, not because of what you tell them, but because of how you live. The real strength comes from the ability to keep some things close to your heart, to live with a sense of inner peace that doesn't need to be broadcast to the world. Privacy and discretion help create the space for that peace to flourish. And the more we embrace this, the more we realize that true contentment often lies in the quiet moments. Those times when we don't feel the need to reveal everything, but instead, simply live fully on our own terms. In choosing what to share and what to keep private, we're taking control of our own narrative. We're living with intention and authenticity, creating a life that reflects who we are without needing constant reinforcement from the outside. This isn't about hiding or being secretive. It's about living with purpose, protecting the parts of ourselves that are sacred, and allowing those pieces of our journey to grow stronger, deeper, and more meaningful over time. Living with discretion doesn't make you closed off. It gives you the freedom to be who you are without the weight of external expectations. It's a life lived with dignity, clarity, and self-respect. By embracing privacy, you're embracing your power to live on your own terms, keeping the most important parts of you safe and cherished. And in doing so, you create a space where peace, wisdom, and strength can flourish. As you reflect on these 9 areas to keep private, take a moment to appreciate the quiet power of discretion. There's a certain wisdom, timeless and profound, in deciding what to reveal and what to keep close to your heart. Each time you choose silence or privacy, you're affirming your dignity, protecting your independence, and honoring the unique value of your life experiences. This approach to privacy isn't about shutting the world out or cutting yourself off from meaningful connection. Instead, it's about creating a balance, a way of being that allows you to stay deeply connected to others, yet firmly grounded within yourself. It's about knowing what to share and when, and preserving those parts of your life that are sacred, those parts that form your inner sanctuary. Your inner sanctuary is where your strength comes from. It's a place where the wisdom, peace, and resilience you've gathered over the years continue to grow and flourish. This protected space is untouched by the judgment or curiosity of others, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and clarity. When you safeguard this privacy, you're honoring the essence of your personal journey. You're protecting the deep sense of self that allows you to live without being swayed by what others think or say. By preserving this sanctuary, you create a foundation of inner peace, one that gives you the courage to live your life authentically, free from the need for constant external validation. Living this way means understanding that silence and restraint are essential in shaping a life of dignity and self-respect. When you keep certain aspects of your life private, you not only maintain control, but you also craft a life that is true to your values, your heart, and your deepest self. Let your actions be the loudest statement you make. Let your kindness be the reflection of your character. Let your quiet strength shine through without needing to explain it. The people who truly value you will understand who you are, without needing to know every detail about your life. The path of discretion leads to a life aligned with your authentic self. It's a life where you share only what feels right, and where the parts of you that deserve privacy remain untouched by the outside world. This is what true freedom looks like, a life rooted in self-respect, clarity, and resilience, one that reflects the quiet strength within you. As you embrace this way of living, know that every choice to keep something private is a choice for your own inner peace and dignity. Your inner world is a priceless treasure, one where your most cherished experiences, insights, and strengths can continue to grow and deepen, away from the need for anyone else's approval. As we come to the end of this journey, we invite you to pause and reflect. What insights have you gained along the way? Which of these ideas resonated most deeply with you? And how might you bring these reflections into your own life? Maybe it's the power of silence, the quiet strength found in discretion, or the value of protecting those sacred aspects of yourself that deserve to remain private. Whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below about one thing you've learned or plan to embrace moving forward. Whether it's a new perspective on privacy or a deeper understanding of how to live with inner peace. If this video has been helpful to you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're interested in continuing this journey of aging with grace, dignity, and strength, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this path toward a more empowered, serene life. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.